This is Apurva and I'm here to present a case of a 38-year-old man who presented with complaints of abdominal distension, pedal edema and facial puffiness since 1 month. He is a woodcutter by occupation, unmarried and a resident of Nalgonda, and presented with the following complaints since 1 month, which is gradually progressive. 3 years back, the patient had a history of big intake of alcohol, and 5 days later, an episode of involuntary movements and visual hallucinations. There was a history of loss of consciousness, no history of trauma, no history of upholding of eyes, clothing or tongue biting. Only 1 episode of involuntary movements since then, and no such episodes. History of jaundice 1 year back, and used herbal medication for that. History of dark colored stools, decreased appetite since 15 days. History of vomitings, intermittent, half an hour after food intake since 10 days. History of shortness of breath on exertion since 10 days. History of bilateral loin pain since 10 days, which is aggravated on bending and prolonged sitting. No history of pain abdomen, loose stools, loss of weight, night sweats, fever, itching, hematemesis, chest pain, palpitations, burning micturition. He is not a known case of diabetes, hypertension, asthma, epilepsy, or coronary artery disease. History of alcohol consumption since 25 years. Consumes 180 to 280 ml of whiskey every day. History of smoking for more than 50 years, and he smokes 5 to 6 cigarettes per day. Patient complains of sleep disturbances. On examination, the patient is conscious, coherent and cooperative, is moderately built. His blood pressure is 110/70 mm of mercury, his heart rate being 78 beats per minute. Patient is afebrile and his respiratory rate is 18 cycles per minute.
What system can be involved? Not present in the patient, and orthopnea, P&D were absent.
Done for the patient. His hemogram showed hemoglobin of 8 and a total count of 9,800 and a platelet count of 60,000, giving an impression of normocytic, normochromic blood pressure with thrombocytopenia. And his LFT is deranged with increased total bilirubin and direct bilirubin, and also increased AST, that is 65, and ALP, that is 168, and also total proteins showing 6.1 and albumin 2.3. Ascitic tag was done for the patient and was sent for analysis. The cell count of ascitic or peritoneal fluid. Ascitic fluid was clear and it showed a total count of 17 cells, with a few reactive mesothelial cells. And the ADA of ascitic fluid was within the normal limits, that is 20, and his serology is negative. Ascitic fluid cytology showed negative for malignancy, and ascitic fluid for LHD, that is within the normal limits, that is 180. The SAG value of the patient was 0.30, and there are normal serum iron and ferritin. The ECG of the patient showed normal, and the USG showed moderate ascites and mild bilateral pleural effusion in the beginning, and then review USG was done, which showed mild splenomegaly and mild ascites later. The USG also showed altered ecotexture of liver. The patient was complaining of back pain. 5 days later he was admitted, so an LS spine X-ray was done, which was normal. His chest X-ray shows normal findings. The 2D echo of the patient showed no MR or AR, good LV systolic function and no diastolic dysfunction. Upper GI endoscopy was done, which revealed grade 1, grade 2 varices.
With fluid. Shifting dullness is with changes into tympanic node.
And whatever
This means
there.
First, when we percussed, there was fluid at that level, and when the patient turned laterally, the bowels come upwards, and the node changes to tympanic. This is shifting nullness. What is the amount of fluid in a normal patient in his peritoneal cavity? So normally it is 0 ml. It is no amount of fluid is present in a normal patient's peritoneal cavity. It's not like a pleural space or pericardial space where you see about 5 to 10 ml, which is normal. In peritoneal cavity there is no fluid. So when do you see shifting nullness and when do you see fluid drift? What is the amount of fluid? It can be inverted, but in most of the cases of ascites is generally reverted. And also when the patient has respiratory difficulty or superficial vein compression causing caput medusae, all those indicate massive ascites. And when do you call it a tense ascites? So massive ascites causing any abdominal compartment syndrome, raising the intra-abdominal pressure more than 25 mm Hg, it is called as tense ascites. It can also cause compression of superior and inferior mesenteric veins, causing gangrene of the abdominal wall. It could be so tense also. Total hypertensive causes. It can be less than 1.1 or greater than 1.1. When do you see low SAG, that is less than 1.1? SAG is basically serum albumin minus ascitic fluid albumin. So to make the SAG low, what has to happen? The serum albumin has to decrease or ascitic albumin has to increase. So in which condition do you see low serum albumin? Basically when there is a loss of albumin in urine, that is nephrotic syndrome, we see low serum albumin. So the SAG will be on the lower side, it is less than 1.1. And high ascitic albumin is seen in conditions like peritoneal carcinomatosis, peritoneal tuberculosis and other peritonitis. In all these conditions we see low SAG. And when do you see high SAG? It is greater than 1.1. Yes, portal hypertension. To make the SAG high, the ascitic albumin must be low. So the hepatic veins and sinusoids, they basically permit only the smaller proteins and they don't permit the albumin, which is a larger protein, to pass through the capillaries. So high SAG is seen when there is cirrhosis, and other differential can be Budd-Chiari syndrome when where there is a leak from the hepatic veins.